Alright, so here's where we should be telling you all the great things about St. Augustine, but we left the mics off when we recorded this. So, we do love St. Augustine, and it's a place we've gone for years, even when we were younger. It's close enough to town to not be a huge getaway, but far enough away that we actually felt like we did something. It's the first lighthouse we ever went to, and since then we've been to plenty more lighthouses. St. Augustine's just always been a place that we could get away, so we knew we had to include it when we came back into Florida. And of course, no Florida homecoming would be complete without rain, and we had plenty of it here for a week, and finally on Saturday, the weather broke, and it gave us a chance to get outside and do a little bit of exploring right before we had to leave. So we made the best of it, packed up the camera, and headed out first to the lighthouse, and then to explore the historic area for their Nights of Light. First, the lighthouse. Construction of the lighthouse took 3 years and was completed in 1874, making the lighthouse almost 150 years old. And the light was first lit October 15th of 1874. It's actually the second lighthouse in St. Augustine. The first one was a little too close to the water and fell into the ocean in 1880. A new site, sitting atop an old beach dune, was selected about 300 yards away, and a year later construction began. The lighthouse is 165 feet tall, and there are 219 steps up to the observation deck. There are also 8 landings along the way in case you need to stop and catch your breath. There are a number of windows along the way to provide light, a breeze, and views of the surrounding grounds. As you work your way higher, the views expand to include more and more of the town. Working even higher, you'll get to see a glimpse of the tower construction. It's a brick structure with cast iron supports running down into the ground. While many brick lighthouses would be too heavy for the sand and crumble into the sea in a few years, the Coquina Base in St. Augustine has allowed the lighthouse to survive all this time, making it the city's first and oldest surviving brick structure. Designed by Paul J. Pels, a German-American architect, the lighthouse has good company, seeing how Pels also designed 10 other lighthouses as well as a number of other buildings, but he's best known as being the main architect of the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. The Keeper's House is another historic structure on the grounds. It's built so large because the lighthouse usually had 3 keepers in order to keep everything running smoothly. The house is built as a duplex with the head keeper and his family on the north side, the first assistant on the south side, and a single room for the second assistant, who was usually unmarried. Our campground was nice and quiet. It's on the beach and our site backed right up to the dunes, offering views of the Atlantic from our covered patio. Unfortunately, the weather didn't cooperate and we didn't get to make the most of our close proximity to the sand. St. Augustine's Nights of Lights is a months-long celebration. Listed as one of the top 10 holiday light displays in the world by National Geographic, the festival runs from mid-November through the end of January. Millions of white lights create a glow around the city as they drape over the Spanish colonial architecture from sidewalk to rooftops. It all starts with Light Up Night, and we were there for it. As always, we enjoyed our time in St. Augustine, even if the weather didn't cooperate. It will remain a favorite getaway spot of ours.